We start with the basis of graph sketching. We start with the axis, horizontal, vertical axis, usually xy, and don't forget your origin. Your intercepts, label them xy intercepts. Then turning points, especially for a quadratic graph, minimum, maximum, or stationary points of inflection, label them as well. For the H2Math students, only the asymptotes, draw them, label the equations, and lastly, for everyone, once you're done sketching the curve, label the equation. Moving on to gradient definition, rate of change of y respect to x, vertical change over horizontal change, rise over run, as some of you might have heard it before. Basic graph, y equals to k, x equals to k, horizontal line for y equals to k, vertical line for x equals to k. Gradient of y equals to k is 0, gradient of x equals to k is undefined, usually equated to infinity. Linear graph y equals to mx plus c, m is the gradient, c is the y-intercept. So it's basically a diagonal line going upwards for positive gradient, positive m, doing downwards if negative gradient, negative m. Moving on to quadratic general equation, ax squared plus bx plus c. If a is less than 0, you get a sad face. A bigger than 0, you get a smiley face. If y equals to ax minus alpha times x minus beta, where alpha and beta are your two roots of the equation, your x-intercepts. Turning point, when you have this form, is basically at x equals to the midpoint of the two x coordinates. If you have ax minus gamma whole thing square, then simply you have only one intercept, which is also the turning point, which is at gamma, 0. If you have completed the square formula, plus minus ax plus h squared plus k, simply your turning point is at minus hk, just like x plus h squared becomes 0. Cubic graph ax cubed, basically going through origin, and if you have a bigger than 0, a less than 0 is just basically opposite. If y equals a over x, basically the two corners, if a is bigger than 0 or a less than 0, will be take out the other two corners as well. Ax squared, now you don't take the two corners, in fact you take the same side. A less than 0, you'll be below the x-axis, a bigger than 0 will be above the x-axis, if the shape is rather similar. Exponential graph, k bigger than 0, you'll be going upwards, k less than 0, you'll be going downwards.